Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. Today we're going to talk about, this is week 7. I think we almost are finishing our materials, but that's because the remaining weeks will be, the case studies and also some practical exercises, one-to-one. So this week is actually quite important week because we've been discussing about the roles of the universities. We talked about the roles of sustainable development. But here today we're going to talk about those institutions, whether the national institutions or the international institutions, right? So what are the roles that we need to learn from here? And in fact, if you notice, the SDG number 16 and SDG number 17. If you look at the 16, anyone can tell me what is SDG number 16? It's peace, justice, and strong institutions. This is number 16. Then you have number 17, it's called partnership for the goals. So now if you look, compare these two things together, this 16 and 17 is like, covering and connecting all the dots. It's going to be, bringing every single SDGs, whether it is, all those remaining 15 SDGs is going to come, put it together so that any institute, whether local or international, can understand what is the role, in forwarding, this noble practice of, sustainable development. And you're gonna see lots and lots of things, because you're gonna learn new things today, which is actually, when I said new things, it is not because you are new to this course. Not only because you are new to this course, it is also new things because there are new developments. Let's say, when they talk about the sustainable development into policy making, the national policy making, this is something new is happening. It's not like, it's been there for 50 years, we talk about it, no. Let's say recently only we came to know that the Malaysian government, they had a budget. They allocated funds for this, precisely for this sustainable development. Then it comes, those funds is being created, those slots were given based on many policies been driven, from this sustainable development goals, or whatever that we call United Nations Sustainable Agenda. So of course you're gonna see so many new, you're gonna learn so many new things. These are also the new things to this field. And since you're also new to this, I think you are the first batch to learn these things, especially in our university, Islamic University of International Islamic University, Malaysia. So now we're gonna cover today roles of global and national institution in achieving SDG. All right, we have global and international institute. Then you have local institute. You're gonna see global institute, and then you can come back to local institute. All right, so you have you will be seeing so many slides on global and international institutes. Then you will go through the local institutes where you will talk about Malaysia and its role in sustainable development. Finally, the last part of the course today, the class today, will talk about the roles of the individual in achieving SDGs. So it's like you and me, the nafs, meaning to say that I myself, what I can do for achieving sustainable development goals. So this is what the presentation is structured today. So let us start with the roles of the institutes, which is, I'm going to talk about the global institutions, in achieving SDGs. And I want you to give me an answer. What is the most important SDG that you are thinking? Please choose your answer. I give you 2 minutes. know you can have multiple answers. You can just whatever that you think is most important for you. Yes.
Are we allowed to take more than one?
Is it possible?
Yes, we
Okay, then go
can.
ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead. Go
no, no,
ahead.
no, 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 no. Just one. Just one.
Okay, I thought it's possible. Okay, okay. Can I get everybody's answer, please? Everybody come in. Imanina, Mohammed, Sarah, where is your answers? Okay. I need to see now. M. Okay. Peace, justice. Okay. We have very much unstructured answers, by the way. That's a good thing about it. Not necessarily it has to be the same. So I think even though most of you, mashallah, from the same specialization, but still you have differences. I like it. I like it. So some of you say good health. Some of you went for no poverty. Some of you went for um, sustainable cities. Okay, good. Some of you went for peace and justice. Okay, good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now tell me, why do you choose that goal as the most important SDG? Because you had some time, some idea. Why did you might it came to you, but you need to tell me why is it that you chose that most important SDG? Okay, start. I give you 2 minutes.
Sir, I cannot type.
You cannot type. Anybody there can type?
I can.
Okay, okay. Please try again. Please try again, yeah. Okay, only 1 minute left.
Sir, I can say my answer through my because I cannot type.
Oh, is it? You yes, please go ahead. Go tell me.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
I
Tell me.
thought the 17 Sustainable Development Goals already in their order
Okay,
based
good.
on any like maybe statistic or any research that they have done.
Okay.
That's why I choose no poverty because no poverty is the first
The
in the
first one.
Sustainable Development Goal.
So you yourself think that it is the first one, maybe it's because it's the most important.
Yes, maybe.
Okay. That's very smart answer. Okay, good. Come on, we have only 10 seconds. Okay, finish up. Finish up your answers. Close it. It will close itself. So please finish your answers now, right now.
Or maybe because
Mhm.
the no poverty is the first thing that we need to consider in order to make a development.
So you mean that
If there
I
is
mean
a
at a
lesser poverty,
clear all the weakness first. I mean clear all the problems first, and then go to the next one. That's why
yes.
you think it's will be important. Okay, this is also a very good answer. Yeah. Okay, very good, very good. That's also a very good answer. Yeah. Um, yeah. Some of you have been writing and then you couldn't. So okay, a good health is important to us because it's a strong body. We can do many things. Very good. Because Islam has honored health, yes, as a fundamental right. Very good. Because I think sustainable cities and communities is the core to all the goals. Very good. Because a stable economy can prevent society from crimes. Very good. And then some other answers is not there, and then others cannot give your answers. Okay, I can see. Okay, because we need strong institution to move the people to strive towards achieving the 17 SDG. Very good, very good. Thank you for all the answers. Actually, what It's not to say that one is important, the other one is not important. All these 17 SDGs are important, and there are many reasons. The significances are there. That's the reason why out of many, out of hundreds, only 17 has been chosen. You know, it's not like only 17. There were hundreds and thousands of sustainable development goals, but they're only able to choose 17. And these 17, they were not able to merge together. So that's why it is 17. But thank you for sharing your answers. Okay, then. So now, as I told you earlier at the beginning of the class, that SDG 17 and 16 and 17 is a kind of very important. That's because this one will bring everything together. You know, the partnership. If you know that we have a Quranic verses, we always say, "Ta'awanu ala al-birri wa taqwa, wa la ta'awanu ala al-ithmi wal udwan." I think you know the meaning. You know, you have to cooperate to do the right thing. Ta'awanu ala al-birri wa taqwa. So this partnership is actually a kind of, it is a need, and then this partnership is what actually we are requiring everybody to come in and join, because you cannot simply ask a factory or industry to completely switch from what they are doing into completely sustainable development, because if they do that, what happens? It will hurt them, it will hurt the employees and everybody, right? So that's the reason why they say, okay, you run whatever you are running, but become the partner. When you become the partner, we need to say that if you are doing what you are doing, make it 80%, at least 20% or 30% or maybe 40%. You just concentrate how you can actually contribute to the sustainable development goal. In fact, they are calling all these polluting companies. Even though they are polluting, they are still continuously polluting, and it is very, very difficult to stop them. You cannot stop them overnight. You got what I'm saying? They, even though it's a polluting companies, even though the industry itself wasting the resources of tomorrow. There are resources must be kept for tomorrow's need, but these industries are doing it today, using it today. By right, they must be stopped. But you know what happens if you stop immediately? It will trigger the consequences, and impact. That will give many impacts to the economics and social society and environment. So that's the reason why they're asking everybody to come and become the partner, so that they can contribute whatever that they can do, but slowly the other things can go down. All right, that's the idea of becoming partner. So what's happening now? As you can see here in the clearly, you can see here, you can also read yourself. It is a call for countries to align policies. So they are asking, no, now we are talking about the global institute. Okay, when we talk about global institute, it includes the countries and the governments. All right, later we will talk about the local institutes, whereby we will talk about Malaysia itself. All right, and then again the last part we will talk about the self and the individual contribution towards sustainable development. So currently we are talking about this global institute and their role in sustainable development. So it's a kind of a call for countries to align policies. It is a vision for improved and more equitable trade, as well as coordinated investment initiatives to promote sustainable development across borders. All right. Put simply, it is about strengthening and streamlining cooperation between nation states, both developed and developing, using the SDGs as a shared framework and a shared vision for defining that collaborative way forward. All right. So these are the 17 targets. If you look into that, which will show you the next slide, it can come under 5 categories. All right, and 8 target. I think these 17s can be put in many forms. You can put it like we used to talk about it, 3 dimensions. What are they? Economy, society, and environment. or you can put into breakdown into 5 categories, like this one. Look at it. You have 5 categories. All 17 can go. Some of them into finance, some of them into technology, some of them into capacity building, and some of them into trade systematic issues. All right. Remember this all 5 things. The details all I want you to read when you are free. All right. This is very important for you entirely to do your assessment, your group, and your individual. All right. Okay, I'm just going on one by one so that I can cover all 50 slides. And then you have these global initiatives, and then you have these regional teams. The global initiative is actually what we call it, of course, started by the United Nations. So we call UNSDG. It comes under 162 countries. So mostly the countries that they registered with United Nations. Every country, most of the countries, they already undertook the responsibility that they will contribute something towards sustainable development goals. They have to do, because it is not like, okay, I will pay you more, you will do this. It's not like that, because everybody has to do it, because if they don't do, everybody will perish one day, will destroy ourselves, because we won't have the future. Our children cannot see the future. That's the reason why the slogan was given when this agenda was introduced. Do you know what was the slogan? They said, no one, we don't leave anyone behind. We don't leave anyone behind, meaning to say that we are doing this for us, for our past, for our present, for our future, so that we don't leave anyone behind. And then you have this regional teams. For every country they have regional means, like for example, Southeast Asia, one region. Americanos there, Africas, and then you have East, and then West, and then Middle East. So these are the regional teams are there, right? Like they have teams in Panama, Addis Ababa, Amman, Istanbul, Bangkok, right? All these things are there. So these are the few regional and global institutes. Okay, if you want to know what are the global institutes that work for sustainable development, these are here. You can see FCU, IFAD, UNFCU, and then you have UNPOG. Mostly it is United Nations. Of course, they put the name UN, but they also could be private and public. Okay, why they are actually working like this as a global institute? Because they can actually promote every single country, every single region to come up with policies. This is what we're gonna talk about it later after this. How do we bring sustainable development into action? What is the role of the institute? These kind of institutes that you saw before, whether it's a global or a regional institute, this institute will be holding conferences, will have a talk like this, will have symposiums, and they will go to many universities to promote this idea. Like mashallah, one of the universities, our university is actually, we are promoting this, right? You will be, inshallah, will be watching some videos after this. You will like it, because some students from this region, they went to Philippines, and they actually contributed a lot, and they actually talking about what is it all about. So so that's what going to happen. These kind of institutions, they will help the government. They will promote, and also they will trigger the government, to bring policies, the policies that can help towards sustainable development. So one of them, I could say, when there was a ban of using plastics, when there was a ban, using the straw. I know, right? Last year You love to have your straw and drinking, but it is very difficult now. If you go to any shop, they are not actually offering any plastic straw. Am I right? You see, this is all why it is happening, why the government is interested to, why government actually banned these kind of products, because they are actually helping towards sustainable development. And then you can understand, you can clearly see the point. All right. Broadening the ideas, recipients and responsibilities for development. And you can see here, you see this is a kind of Stockholm resilience center. I mean, this is actually kind of, you can see that there's a ring, big ring, and then small one, then small one, everything together become like a, a plate. So there is an integrated and indivisible, then multi-stakeholder partnership, then toolbox of approaches. So meaning to say, it has to be work together so that the ideas can be broadened up, so that the responsibilities for development, can also broaden up. So this is the idea. And then these are the areas that it will apply. The global and regional institutes will be applied to these areas: cooperation, partnership, capacity building, governance, finance, data and monitoring, policy coherence. This policy coherence is very important, by the way. This is how SDG can be practiced in a government. Without policy making, you cannot. All right. Roles according to a descending hierarchy. So this is the international level, and then you have national level, and then you have regional level, and then you have local level. So please read everything one by one. I want you to read after this class, and I want every one of your group to go through this so that you will have the idea how to do your assessments. All right. I don't have enough time to elaborate. As I told you, I have a few videos to show you. And let's start with this video. Sustainable Development Goals Explained, partnership of the goal. Let's see how partnership for the goals work.
It's important to have a goal on partnerships because realizing the agenda we want, the Agenda 2030, involves all sectors of society. It's a job for everyone, not just for governments. And this is the idea behind partnerships. One partnership that our department is very much involved in is the Higher Education Sustainability Initiative. It's what can universities do to bring about a better world in the year 2030. And this is what this partnership is about. They can do that through greening their own campuses, teaching sustainability, environmental management. They can also reach out to their communities. And over 300 campuses have signed up around the world. So it can't be measured in money terms, but it will affect a whole new generation of decision makers as it goes forward. Certainly there are indicators for this goal. For example, the percentage of national income devoted to foreign aid. There is an objective among countries that 0.7% of national income should be devoted to foreign aid. We are very far from that. The average is about between 0.2 and 0.3%, so we're far away from that goal. If we get closer to that goal, that will be one indicator. Certainly the number of partnerships, we're keeping track of them. But more importantly, it's the actual achievement of the other 16 goals that will be the true determinant of success for Goal 17 also.
Okay, let's watch the another one. Okay, this is how the United Nations moves from SDGs. Moves the SDGs from paper to practice.
Around the world, a complex orchestra of partnerships, know-how, and policy making is well underway to realize the promise of the 2030 Agenda, its 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and the commitment to leave no one behind. The 2030 Agenda is a composition of intertwined social, economic, and environmental goals and targets that requires a new way of thinking about development. That is why the United Nations development agencies have come together to create MAPS, a common agile approach to development that stands for mainstreaming, acceleration, and policy support to help countries move the SDGs from paper to practice. This is how it works. Country X is trying to turn the extraordinary goals into realities on the ground. This is where mainstreaming comes in. It's about making the 17 goals a part of people's lives by including them in national and local policies, action plans, and budgets. About raising public awareness and engaging with civil society, businesses, and the media, establishing practices for monitoring and reporting, securing financing for the agenda, and assessing risk. Country X knows that an integrated agenda means that it cannot work with one goal at a time. It needs to find key entry points to make progress across several SDGs. What would work in this specific context? Using analytical tools, we can identify accelerators, such as action to support women and girls' empowerment that will also boost local economies, enable safer childbirth, and build more inclusive communities. The UN can also provide policy support that reaches across all aspects of development, education, jobs, local governance, healthcare, biodiversity, and clean energy to support SDG implementation. The UN will help countries achieve the SDGs for everyone, everywhere. Visit undg.org/2030-agenda to learn more about MAPS.
Okay. See, this MAPS is quite important as well. Huh? Mainstreaming, then acceleration, then the policy support. So this is how a global and regional institute must look into it. So this is something to do. It's very important. MAPS, you can also think about it, how you can actually accelerate, what are the tools that you can use, then how it can become into policy making. The United Nations is actually ready to support if you have the mainstreaming and acceleration. Then the last part is actually policy making, right? The policy supply, I think they can do that. This is all actually new things that tomorrow's world can do this. Tomorrow we cannot say that we don't have anything to do, but there is lots of things to do. You see, at the early stage you got learn this. I think that's something very good actually, so that you can plan accordingly. Once you graduated, what you can do. There are plenty of opportunities available. I also would tell you that those friends from Arabic department, you can learn these things again in Arabic and try to improvise, try to develop your skills so that you can go one day and deliver this to Arabs, and they will be happy to hear that, because maybe most of them, they don't know the idea. Now you can bring this idea, right? So this is all the opportunities for you in tomorrow's world. So the next one, we talk about from global to national agenda. So we talked about global and regional. Now let's go and talk about localizing SDG. This is, I think, I'm quite interesting in this, because this is what we can do within the nation, within Malaysia. So before that, I want you to support. Please tell me, how can Malaysia plays its roles in supporting and achieving SDG. So I want you to be be a little bit specific and tell me how Malaysia can play its roles to support and achieve this. Okay, please go ahead, share your answers, please. I'll give you 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, that's very good. Some very good answers are here. Okay. Oh, that's good. Add SDG subject in school. Yeah, I think now we started in universities. I think yeah, best. I think when you go to when some of you may go to the school and teach, I think you will be a better person to teach because you learn the course from the university. Make a campaign about SDG and encourage people to practice it. Okay, I want to be a specific, yeah, by reserving a huge amount of budget to make sure all Malaysians have a high quality of education. Good. Do a lot of campaigns regarding SDG. Okay, zero number of food waste, taking care of welfare of its community, enhance material recyclability by having many programs to increase agricultural productivity. Okay, this is very good again. Rearrange the education system to be more concerned of SDG issue. Okay, this is also very good. Okay, mashallah, I know you have many ideas. Okay, never stop, keep on bringing your ideas always. You can actually develop. That's very good. So I can also see myself the differences between the first day of the class and now. We are and now the 7th week. Alhamdulillah, you also been slowly graduating and talking about specific thing, which is good. Okay, thank you. So let's talk about this. This one actually I told you a few weeks ago. The timeline of sustainable development. It's about the time that they started 1972. Then with the first United Nations Conference on the Human Environment, you can see here. Then they have 1983 World Commission, then 1992 UNICEF Earth Summit Agenda. If you remember, we talked about all these things earlier, especially those the highlighted one, the Rio. The Rio one was very good. The concept of sustainable development goal was born in that Rio conference with the objective of producing a set of universally applicable goals that balances the three dimensions of sustainable development, which is environment, social, and economic. Then we have in 2015 we have the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. All right. Then again, in those developments, what are the policies has been? What are the policies? If you want to know particularly how these policies were developed, this is the answer. When it was developed, the first one they talk about environmental quality. Then the next one, national energy policy. Then they have national forestry policy in 1984. Then in 1998, they have national biodiversity policy. In 2002, they had national policy on environment. 2009, national green technology policy. 2010, national climate change policy. This is the climate change policy was really most complicated one. Many countries they accept, some countries they didn't accept. The 2012 one, national water resources policy. So now you see every single policies are different, and it's a kind of development in policies. And you see someone is always keeping the records. That's what I say. It's not like one man come and then he had this thought and then he gone, because it's not one man job. All right, it's not one man can do. It's a community work. It's a group of people continuously, constantly they are doing it. It shows the value in it. And this one is sustainable development goals. I think most probably we discussed this earlier, but you can read again if you want to know that there are 6 main characteristics of this agenda. They talk about this. This is something new. If you want to know, broad participation. Number 2, diverse issues. Number 3, knowledge gap. Number 4, applicable to all. Number 5, means of implementation. Number 6, common but differentiate responsibility. So these are the characteristics of 2030 agenda. Then you have this one, from where to where. This is something good. I know this is something completely new to you, because you haven't, some of you may know, but most of you haven't heard of it. From Rio to Putrajaya. Can you believe? Look at the word. Sustainable development strategies from Rio. Rio, you know that it happened in 1990s. From Rio to Putrajaya. Look, in 1992 there was a Rio Air Summit, and then in 1996, look at the timeline, then you will see 2000 Millennium Goals, 2010 Sustainable Indicators, then 2012 Draft of Sustainable Development Blueprint, 2014 National Readiness to Implement, 2015 SDG. 2017, what happened? Malaysia Voluntary National Report, HLPF. This is what actually happened. I know, I will let you know what is it. And then 2017 we have still roadmap. 2019, last year, we have 11 MP, and then we have MTR, midterm review. Okay, don't worry, this is a kind of new things to you, but we are going to talk about this in the next few slides. All right, but here I want you to know, from Rio to Putrajaya. Can you believe? From Rio to Putrajaya, how many years it took? Tell me. Anyone? Yes? 19 plus 10, 19 plus 8. How many years?
27.
See that? 27 years. It took 27 years to reach Putrajaya from Rio. See, constantly happening. The same story for every country. Okay, implementing SDG. These are how it happening: institutional framework, policy framework, monitoring and evaluation, financing mechanism, training and advocacy, and reporting. So this is how actually they do. When they want to implement SDG, this is how they do. And here we're gonna learn the Malaysia institutional framework. This is what we call national SDG. We talk about localizing SDG. I know all these weeks we talk about the global idea, the United Nations idea, right? International idea of SDG, and this is where you need to talk about. You are going to talk about what Malaysia so far has done. It's quite new, all right? It's not something that we've been doing for many years. As I told you, mashallah, our honorable rector is the one who started earlier in USM, then he went to USIM, then right now he is in UIA. So in all these three universities, whenever he was a rector, he was the vice chancellor, he actually tried to implement SDG within the university level, and then the government itself took care of it. And then in last year, in this year budget also, they allocated fund for it. All right, now look at this entire thing, then you will understand. National SDG chaired by Prime Minister. Then there is a steering committee. This steering committee, look at them. They divided all 17 SDGs into 5. Number 1, it is inclusivity. Under inclusivity, they have 1, 2, 5, 10. Number 2 is what? Well-being. They have number 3, 11, 16. And then they have human capital, number 4, because it's a quality of education, which is we are doing all today. We are doing quality education, number 4. Then the next one, they have environment and natural resources. All right, they have 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then they have economic growth, 8, 9, 17. So now look, if you want to, I like this, I really like this kind of classification. You want to divide all 17 into 5. I think this is good. Inclusivity, well-being, human capital, environmental, natural, and economic growth. All right. Okay, you can also learn from here, and then you can actually formulate, or you can actually design your term papers. All right. Policy framework. Okay, this is what the Putrajaya it is been done in Putrajaya. This is what we call 11th Malaysian Plan. Okay, so if someone asks you what is 11 MP, the answer is what? 11th Malaysian Plan. This is what right now we are doing. So 2020 is going to finish in within this month. So we are going to have a 12th Malaysian Plan later. Then we have 13 and 14. All right. So this 11th Malaysia Plan, this Malaysia Plan for SDG, okay, it's called anchoring growth on people. All 17 SDGs are aligned to the strategic thrust of 11th Malaysia Plan. Then within that plan, we got MTR. We call it mid-term review. So based on this mid-term review, they developed on new priorities and emphasis of the new government. The 17 SDGs are embedded in the MTR. So this MTR comes under 11th Malaysian Plan. Then there is a formulation of national roadmaps on SDG, a document to guide and provide clear direction on the implementation of the 2030 agenda and the SDGs of the country. Now you can briefly understand how the global SDG became into local SDG. You got what I'm saying? Okay, this is how a government should do. Okay, here you can see if you want to, you already have the 11 MP and then you have MTR, which is midterm review. Then you need to do the mapping. The mapping is important. This is how we mapped. We have social, environmental, economy, and then we have this social inclusivity, environmental sustainability, economy, high income. All we have new priorities and emphasis. This new priorities and emphasis is actually inside here, midterm review, right? You will learn this later as well. We just started. Perhaps inshallah, if you go for some other classes, if there is anything, you will learn a lot about it. Or maybe in the next year we will have more materials to talk about it. Since this is the first time we do, so these are only few, we don't have the proper materials to teach this, but this one is good enough for you. Yeah. Okay, so in this you can see the phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. So phase 1 is what we are doing right now, 11 MP MTR, prioritizing SDG according to 11 MP and MTR. The next one will be phase 2. We will be focusing on post 2020 goals, and then phase 3 remaining goals. So we have 11th Malaysian Plan, 12th and then 13th. All right. And then we have again the mapping. We found 6 pillars to bring all this, to develop all these 17 goals. We have 6 policy pillars. So this is all part of MTR. Okay. So if I ask you what are the 6 policy pillars of MTR, this is your answer. The first pillar is what? Reforming governance towards greater transparency and enhancing efficiency of public service. Enhancing inclusive development and well-being. This is number 2. Number 3, pursuing balanced regional development. Pillar 4, empowering human capital. Pillar 5, enhancing environmental sustainability through green growth. And then pillar 6, you have strengthening economic growth. So now you can see that under each pillar you have the priorities, these 4 priorities under pillar 1. Then it includes 2 SDGs, number 11 and 16. Then they have pillar 2 and then 2 priorities area and 9 strategies. And then you have around 8 SDGs comes under this. The same way you can see, this is actually completely, this is a very good slide to understand the midterm review of 11th Malaysia plan. Right? Again, we have, again, it continues in the integrating SDGs into the planning framework. You see how deep we've been thinking about it. We have strategy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, sorry, we have 5 strategies, but we put into A1, A3, A4, and then we have B1, B2. All right, this comes under pillar 2. Then under each and every pillar, you have strategies. All right, so you can read this one by one, the strategies. All right, again, this one, this is talking about the SDG goal number 1, the planning framework for end poverty in all its form everywhere. So this is how they have developed what should be the roadmap, what is the agenda, what are the process should be to eliminate poverty in all its forms everywhere. So this is how this is what actually midterm review talks about. All right, then you have more into the same thing, you know, for example, you have the national indicators, how those national indicators has been established. All right, one by one, you have the SDG progress monitoring, you have SDG portal. Look, if you want to see the progress monitoring system, you go to mysdg.dosm.gov. If you want to have SDG portal, you are good. You go mysdg.my. Okay, you can also check now. Go and check mysdg.my. So these are the monitoring, reporting, verification, and all. Okay. Later at the end of the class today, there is a fun game. You will like it. I want every one of you to participate. It's a kind of a game that you play, and then you will understand how much you need for your future, how much resources that you need for your future. It's a kind of a very fun game. Okay, so this is, again, we have SDG monitoring. This is the website. You open, then you will see this. This is what we are talking. This is Malaysia that we are talking. We are not talking about the other country. This is what we are talking about, the Malaysian website. Okay, and the same thing. This is the portal. If you want to see, you can register. All right, any activity you do, you can register, and then you can prove that you are doing it. All right, that's really good. The government need more voluntary, on voluntary basis you can do this. Again, the same thing, reporting, monitoring, evaluation. This one also reporting, monitoring, evaluation. This is financing mechanism, how they do that. This is training and advocacy, and this is issues and challenges. This is where actually we have some issues in implementing these SDG in Malaysia. We have burden to report, understanding SDG, coordination, funding, localization, data. There are some issues are there, but still there is a body. It is working, but we need to support it. Okay, so this is the next topic of the class, which is the roles of local institutions in achieving SDGs. So we talked about the global institution, and we talked about how to bring the global institution, how to bring SDGs into local, and now we are going to talk about what are the roles of local institution in achieving SDG. I also heard Azan, so I want you to come back in 7:20. All right, now it's 7:08, so please come back 7:20. We will start early so that we can finish early. Okay, thank you. Okay, I hope everybody is back. Okay, let us continue. Yeah. Okay, the next one is actually we're going to talk about the roles of local institutions in achieving SDGs. Right. So let me give you this this video on localizing the SDGs. Then I will also give you the website address.
The United Nations member states have adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, a universal and transformative plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity, including 17 Sustainable Development Goals to be reached by 2030. How can such ambitious goals be achieved? Community participation, local action, and leadership will be crucial. It depends on you. Localizing the agenda means integrating the SDGs in the design, implementation, and monitoring of local development policies and plans, while putting territories in the center. Local and regional governments and other local actors are crucial to ensure the process is inclusive and accountable. Local knowledge is essential to make the 2030 Agenda a reality for all. To provide support in implementing and monitoring the SDGs, 3 partners are gathering these experiences from across the globe to form a unique toolbox of practices and instruments. The online platform offers an interactive space to access these resources, adapt them, and achieve dependable results. You can discover practical tools that will guide you through the SDG local implementation process. Design enabling frameworks and strengthen your capacities. A library with a wealth of complementary material is also at your disposal. Upload your documents and tools and help pool our collective knowledge. Along with this, you can share your stories, engage in discussions, promote events, and connect with peers. The platform is dynamic, evolving, and your contributions are vital. Participate now and start transforming the global goals into real local actions.
Okay, as you can see, the website says that it's can you see the website address, localizing the SDGs.org. But I checked this website is no longer available, because maybe by the time when they posted this video, that was the address, the website web page. Later is changed to this. Let me share with you. Okay, I hope you can see this. It is called local2030.org. Can you please check your website? You can also try to save this. Okay, what you can get here in this, right? Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So you see, this is local2030.org. What you can see is actually is a kind of a database page, web page for you. So here you will read many stories, you know, the tools and documents. There will be many discussions, you know. This website will help you to make your assessment better. You can see here there's a library, for example. Yeah, you go to library and then you want to see particularly one topic. Let's say water. You want to talk about water or something. You just go and click search. Then you will get a plenty of the documents. You just open one, and then it will take you to the PDF of that particular document. See that? It shows you directly to the document. So here is like a reading. It's 80 pages. You can just read page by page. See? Sometimes a different language, then you will have English one. All right, this is the English actually. This is the content of the book. You can just, you know, read the book. You will get many materials like this, which will help you. Which one will, like you want to talk about the pupil stories and all. Perhaps, you know, you can use this website to make your assessment better. You know, when I told you to do your reflective journals, And I gave you an example of, start from your story, but what what exactly wrong happened when you write your stories? You just only write your stories. You got what I'm saying? I didn't want you to just write your story. I want you to relate your story into what you can offer for sustainable development goal. Your story is, it has to, maybe the first 3 lines, maybe it kind of your story, but later you need to relate, you need to develop it into something that can be helpful for the whole humanity. All right. So please, I know you wrote your first and second, the third one still, I know most of you didn't start writing, so now make it better than the first and second. All right, so make it more constructive, more of course your local SDG based. All right, I think you can get many examples from here, but I want you to write, you learn this, you read, but you do your own. Okay, okay, that's the thing. Coming back to this slide. Okay, the airport. Okay, then this is what they were talking in the video, localizing the SDGs and the 2030 development agenda. All right, and these are the challenges, of course, as I told you, everything they want to do, there are challenges. This is like, contextual based on locality. There are challenges in prioritizing the SDGs over the local agendas. We have so many local problems, right? Let's say in Malaysia we have our own problems, and now this SDG comes again. So of course prioritizing is a kind of challenges, capacities, funding, relevance, uh, connection with local council leaders also sometimes will be difficult. If you go back to your kampong and you ask your local politician what is SDG, maybe he has no idea about SDG, right? So these are the things, kind of challenges in localizing SDGs. Yeah. Okay. And this is the localizing SDGs for the local context. Um, this is how you can do it step by step. For example, awareness raising. You can go back to your kampong and you tell people about it. What exactly SDG and why is it that we have to take care of it? You can start in the town. You can talk to the people who lives in urban cities and give them the awareness, local planning, advocacy, then make it institution, then monitoring and evaluation, then the finance and markets, then partnership and networks. This is how every one of you who learn this, if you really want to lead tomorrow's world, I think it is possible. First what you do, you graduate, you start awareness raising, then you have planning, and then you make advocate it, and then you convert into institution, you become the director of that institution. Then you tell the government that what my institution is capable of. My institution is capable of doing this monitoring and evaluation of what's happening with regard to SDG. There are plenty of things that actually people can do. And then the finance and markets will come, because you see, for example, when I told you earlier, the government of Malaysia, they have allocated fund for SDG. Now, who do you think will use that money? So these kind of institutes, the local institutes, if they have, so they want every one of you become the local institute. So if you became the local institute, these are the finances are there, markets are there, then your institute can also do partnership with other networks. This is how actually you go and how you develop this idea into localizing. All right. Okay, now we are going to talk about the last part of the class, which is also quite important. We talked about the global and regional institute. We talk about the local institute. Now, micro level. We talked about the macro level. Now let's talk about the micro. Micro is actually you and me, our nafs, achieving SDG, what I supposed to do, what I should do. So let's watch some videos and some okay, this one is very good video. Perhaps you watch it, but I'm not sure, I'm not so sure whether I can leave it for 12 minutes, but let's see. First few minutes are interesting. Yeah.
How many of you would consider yourselves an activist? Can you raise your hands? A couple, not too many. How many of you would consider yourselves an expert? Again? Okay, a few more. Right. Now, how many of you would like to make the world a better place? Yeah, much better, great. Now suddenly it's everybody. Well, I have good news for you, because you don't have to be an expert or an activist to make the world a better place. Now, by now, we've heard a lot about the SDGs, and all of us sitting here know what they are. And we also know that they're not just some lofty promises made by the United Nations. They're an integral part of our daily lives. Now, if you're not yet convinced, let me show you. This is Saturday's newspaper, and every single headline is about the SDGs. There's one about the number of tests that school children have to do, and they literally ask the question, is this good education? SDG 4. There are two headlines about migration, which touches on a whole range of SDGs, from no poverty, SDG 1, decent work and economic growth, SDG 8, peace, justice, and strong institutions, SDG 16. And at the top here, there's even a story about how to battle your winter dip. Might not seem like it has much to do with sustainable development, but the winter dip means mental health, good health and well-being, SDG 3.
Okay, I stop here. I just want to, get this very valid point. As you can see, she actually shows some magazine newspapers, and then she says this newspaper is full of related matters to SDGs. So how it is related to SDGs? Because SDG is actually talks about our entire life. So now maybe a story, news on education, a news on poverty, news on mental healthness. Everything actually is related to each and every SDGs. So now you need to connect yourself in that way, and then if you can connect it in that way, then you can actually easily create awareness among the people. Right now, maybe for some people it looks like completely new idea, and what am I supposed to do with this, right? In fact, even some of you still not grasping the idea of SDG. Perhaps if you think that this is, whether it is an Islamic one or it is a non-Islamic one, these kind of questions, if you still have it, I want you to ask. You can only clear this doubt only if you ask. If you don't ask, the things will be there. So if you still not becoming familiar with this, what I'm talking, what we are teaching for the whole semester, so then please you can stop me and then you can ask me. That's the reason why we are the lecturers here, to clarify, so that we can at least make you understand what they are talking, what we are teaching, by the way, right? So that's quite important. So bring your familiarity. Yeah, you become familiar with this concept. That is what the main purpose of this teaching this course. All right. I can go ahead, but I'm afraid it takes a lot of time. So what I do, I will go to the next one. Yeah. Okay. Now you tell me, what is your individual role for SDG? All right. What do you think as an individual person? What you think that you should do? Remember this. This SDG is not a job. It is saving the world. If you feel like as a Muslim it is important to do, then you say it. If you think that as a human it is important to do, you say it. All right. If you think that you as a student it is important to, you say it. So whatever that you think your individual role for SDG. All right. Please write it down. Everyone, please. Please, everyone write. I want to see everybody's answer. All 21. Okay. We have 24 in Google Meet. I know why 3 members did not join Nearport. Please, everyone, join Nearport. The Nearport code is BIN5M. BIN5M. Okay, go ahead. Write. Everybody write. Everybody give your answers. Okay, you see, most of you talks about, from here what I can see, from your answers, what I can see, most of you talks about what is your duties. You are talking about your duties. You are not talking about your role. What is your individual role? You understand my point? You say, for example, help the poor people, not wasting the water, right? Planting more trees. This is all very good, I agree. But these are the duties. What is your individual role for SDG? Are you, which character you are? What is your screenplay role to implement this? I understand all your answers. I can see it. Some of them are very good actually. Some of them also new to this class. See the thing like do the recycle practice, right? Okay. Good. I see the progress, but I want to see, do you understand the question? What is your individual role for SDG? Consumer. Yes, I understand consumer. What consumer? Yeah, consumer, okay. But consumer is a very good answer, but you need to tell what kind of consumer, because not all the consumers can play a good role for SDG. Yes, maybe you can say responsible consumer. That's the role. That's one of the role. Being a responsible consumer. Very good. Very good. That's, yeah, Balkis, yeah, that's good. Okay, tell me like that. Role. Tell me your role. What else you could be? This is very good. Being a responsible consumer. Yes. So every time, so if you say that you are the responsible consumer, now this is your role, right? So every time you buy something, you already told in the class that you will be the responsible consumer. So you will not buy something that you don't need. You will not spend too much money on something that you don't need. You don't just buy something because you want. You will only buy something because you need. Okay, good. Be an influencer in implementing SDG. That's a role. Okay, very good. Influencer. Yes. Yes, so you will be the influencer. Okay, that's a good, that is also good. Okay, so tell me, what is your role? What kind of role you will play? Tell me. Okay, I hope you got my question. What kind of role that you will play for SDG? Okay, you will be an activist to fight against climate change. What you will become, what you will do yourself against climate change. Some of the answers already here, I can see. All right, so you can say like this: I will be a renewable energy user. All right, which means that I will not use the petrol and diesel. I will be the electric car user. I will be the public transporter. Do you know what is it? Public transporter, meaning I won't use my own car. So that so you see, when you stop using your own car, then you stop saving the petrol, which means that you are saving the climate, you are saving the universe. Yes. Okay, so you have to be specific. Do you remember that we are in 7th week, not in the 1st week anymore? You are in the 7th week, so be specific about what you are talking. All right, I know all these duties and objectives I can see. All right, like I told you just now, you can say that you know, I will be gardener. See, for example, very simple as that. Very simple as that. I will be the gardener. MashaAllah, you are becoming the role model for SDG. I will be the farmer. I will be the recycler. Very good. Yeah, good. That's good. I will be the recycler. Right? That's how you say. All right. So I hope you got the idea. Thank you so much for sharing all this. And let's watch. Okay, this is something, you know, I really like it. I want you to watch this video. Then later we have some games. All right.
Our human activities consume resources and produce waste, and nature needs to have the capacity to meet these demands. The ecological footprint is a way to measure our human demand on nature. Every one of us has an ecological footprint. The footprint represents the impact of a person, a household, a city, a business, or a country on nature. Things like food, energy, transportation, goods and services all contribute to our ecological footprint. The footprint is expressed as the amount of land and water required to produce what we consume and to absorb the waste we generate. By measuring the ecological footprint, we can assess the pressure our lifestyle puts on the planet. This helps us to manage our ecological assets more wisely and to take personal and collective action.
Okay, see, they said here, you understand the point? Ecological footprint. What is it? What does it mean? Ecological footprint. See, every single day we eat something, we utilize something, so we actually have the resources in front of us. We are doing it, all right? Every single day there are plenty of resources that we are using. So every time you use the resources, what happens in the world is actually something that we don't see, but it is happening. You know, let's say you have your bag full of bread, and then every single day you eat bread, let's say 5 slices every day. So what happens is that after 2 days, the whole bread pocket, the packet will end, right? I mean, will finish, right? So meaning to say that your stock will reduce, right? Every time you eat, your stock will reduce. Now, what exactly happened to the universe? What exactly happening to the earth? Because people like you and me, there are millions and billions of people, and everybody is actually eating the bread. And I understand there is also a production. So every time you eat bread, you eat roti, there is a production of flour, and then the production coming in, and then someone making into roti, into bread, and we are eating it. Again, they are bringing the flour. But someone also using or someone is also using the resources to create the flour. And then we need more lands to, create all this. And then we are using the flour. We are using the land. When we're using the land, we use water. We use sunlight. Right? You understand my point? So there is an ecological footprint for every single action that we do. All right, this is what the idea of talking about this. Now look, if you look at this, they say, for example, buy organic, bring your own bag, use public transportation. These are the things. If you happen to be what do you call it, your daily routine like this, if it happened to be like your hobbies, always buy organic, always you bring bag every time you go to the shop, every time you go for shopping, always you bring your own bag, so that you don't have to ask them to give me back, so that they don't have to spend or use that extra plastic to you, and you don't have to bring the extra plastic to another place, right? So, and then the public transportation, right? So these are the things you need to understand. We are talking about the individual role for SDG. So this is how you actually bring the individual role into it. So this is like a Movely, made with Movely. I think it's a website. Okay, now this one is what actually I've been telling you right now about your ecological footprint, and I hope you understand ecological footprint. Every single action, every single eating, every single drinking, every single petrol that you use, every single time you breathe outside, or you take the energy, every time you buy something and then you throw something. So all